Hey, what's up, La Familia? You crazy football-loving nutters. This is Ray Hudson, and you are luxuriating in listening to the Inter Miami podcast with the stupefyingly magnificent Jay and Alex. Two lads who are as electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub. Stay tuned, because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be magisterial with an amplifier.
To the left, Pellegrini, inside, Pizarro Golazo! Here's the goal scorer, Morgan! And he's done it again! Lewis Morgan with a second of the match! Higuain will have the goal! And he's framed the top 90! It's a sensational first goal for Gonzalo Higuain!
Choo-choo, all aboard the struggle bus, buddy. It is bleak, and just here we are, just another episode, 4 in a row, 4 losses in a row, not even a win to show for it, just a mediocre draw.
I mean, they always say it's darkest before the dawn, but I'm thinking we're starting to see like one of those Icelandic winter nights where it's night for like 23 and a half hours. And we're just living for that last half hour of daylight we're going to see. And it's just not coming, man. It's not going to show up.
Yeah.
It's rough. This is rough, but here we are.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure there's like a place in Alaska or it's somewhere really north where it's literally night for like 20 something days of the year consecutively. They made a movie 30 Days a Night, but that's like a vampire movie. So that's not real. Or is it? I mean, it's a whole nother podcast right there. But yeah, dude, it's a dark month, man. And the best part about this month is it's looking even darker just with the teams we're about to have to play.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the schedule and it's kind of like the old Billy Mays commercials, but wait, there's more. and you're just like, no, stop. I mean, hell, we were just watching Inter Miami 2 play Philadelphia Union 2. And as soon as I flipped it out, I was like, oh, cool. Here comes the hope again. And oh no, we suck again. So
it's the hope that kills you. I don't know.
It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, it's just through and through on every level. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have anything to do, typically on the weekends, but this game was delayed a little bit, go check out Inter 2 playing out of Dry Pink Stadium. I think the tickets are like $5 or $6. Very cheap, very affordable. Probably is going to cost you less than the hot dog you will buy with it. Certainly it's going to cost you less than a beer. Actually, I don't even know if they're serving beer there. Oh, I have no idea. I haven't been yet.
Yeah, I don't know either. We could probably ask Mr. Traveler himself because I know he was in the stands for this one. So we will report back. It's the news that matters to the fans the most. We'll get you those answers.
Well, welcome everyone to the Inter Miami podcast. I am Jay Kington, joined by Than Harrington today. How's life? I feel like we should talk about what Netflix shows we're watching. I hate doing this.
Dude, I mean, if we're going down that route, I mean, I'm preoccupying my time by running through Suits one more time because that's a classic, one of my favorites. But yeah, man, I mean, it just is. You wake up, you're expecting to have a good result, you're expecting to move on and see this team turn the corner. We're just not getting there, and it hurts. It really hurts.
Houston, we've got a big effing problem.
Dude, it's like we didn't even get off the launch pad. We just kind of self-destructed.
Yeah.
Like we're
like SpaceX
across.
Or like the early SpaceX trials that just like explode before they even lift off.
Yeah, it's not good, man. But we're here. We're here for the fans. The pod never sleeps. We're not going anywhere. So let's just keep this struggle bus moving.
Yeah, well, let's get into it here. Let's just jump right in. Well, we're going to put the miscellaneous news in the back because they always say eat your vegetables first and savor your dessert afterwards, right? Or eat the bad little truffle chocolates you got on Valentine's Day. Eat the bad ones you don't like first, and then enjoy the good ones later. So let's just go ahead and get this out. Game started out really just off the rip, just delay with massive rainstorms. Actually, though, this is the one game I brought a poncho because it was like a 90% chance of rain, which was a very smart idea on my part. I'm going to go ahead and say that. A lot of people have stopped me and asked me where I got the poncho. And it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's been in my garage for like 4 years. I haven't worn a poncho since like probably 98. So I have no idea. It wasn't until I think someone in Vice City was just like, what the hell is this? Take this off. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's get wet. So we were soaked, but who cares? We were having fun, banging drums for what felt like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, it was a long wait. I felt like I was back in high school because for like a couple moments, it was just like a bunch of like supporters just like all in that little trailer bathroom, just ducking the rain. Cause I mean, it was coming down pretty hard, but luckily once that surpassed, it turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful night. And the field honestly didn't really look too affected by it. But what I'm sure was affected a little bit was the players that had to do 2 or 3 warm-ups, and that's never fun, man. That's definitely never fun.
No, I mean, from what I saw on social media, and, shout out to supporter groups, they are always ready to party no matter what, whether, it's in person, on social media. They do a great job of making you feel like you're there, even if you're not. But killer lightning, pouring down rain, wind gusts. And I was like, man, that must suck to be there. And then you see the videos of everybody just partying. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, I wish I was there right now. I don't care how soaked I was. I think that's about the point I text you. But yeah, touching on the warm-ups, we'll get into it as we move forward, but that's what they said affected Marsman the most, mm-hmm. was 2-3 warm-ups after being brought back for your first game. It's not conducive to a good game for anybody. I mean, even top of the top, Manuel Neuer, it's not going to be good for him. So, I mean, it's what it is, man.
It is what it is. I mean, look, man, highlight of the night was probably just all the camaraderie of all the hype and the delay. But, I mean, it's just more of the same, man. It's like we make some improvements here. We just do so much worse in every other area. One of the things that I thought really stuck out was that we were really moving the ball. Like we were having ease moving the ball, and we'll get into, stats in just a little bit here. But we had the majority of possession. We had quite a significant number, of passes over there. So that actually shockingly looked good. Let me backtrack. What shocked me initially was walking into the stadium when the lineup came out. It was a 4-3-3, and I was like, holy crap! Like we're finally just really going to change something and see how this works out. So I was actually really pleased with that. There's some good, there's some bad here. One of the bad parts, and again, we'll get into this, but like we cannot score a goal for the life of us. We have 3 goals on the season. The first one was really just a super quick reaction by Campana, but the other 2 are just PKs. Like we struggle. We miss the goal. We're left. We're right. We're up into the stands. We're right to the keeper. We don't know what this open space around in between the post on either side of the keeper, that open space where you want to put that ball, that's a foreign concept to us.
I mean, it looked like the Dolphins were hosting a kicker tryout. It was ugly. I mean, you would have thought that some of these guys had never played before and saw like the big yellow goalpost and said, that's the goal. I need to hit that. And, shout out to the fans for as many as we missed. There was no reports anybody getting knocked out. All the beers were saved. All the expensive food was saved. So, but, jokes aside, it's got to get better. Like some of those shots were gimmies. Mm-hmm. I mean, my unconditioned frame probably could have turned around and put at least 2 or 3 of those in the back of the net from the position. It's just bad. It looks like these guys belong in the USL and the USL guys belong up top because they're finishing better than the main team right now. So, I mean, I don't know.
It's, I mean, I'm not sure. Did you mean MLS next, or did you mean USL? Because either are accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still calling them Fort Lauderdale in my head. Yeah, USL, MLS Next Pro. Whatever.
I just wanted to make sure I understand you. I agree. Yeah. I agree with that on whichever league it is for sure. And here's very, I think, good news, maybe dare I say best news of the night, is Marsman's back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not religious. I was doing Hail Marys. I was like doing the rosary beads. I was, sacrificing goats. The calendar was not going to be in goal. And I had an ear-to-ear smile when I saw that Nick Marsman, keeper numero uno, was back. Mm-hmm. And it kind of, and damn it, but it kind of made you believe. It kind of notched that hope up a little bit.
Well, I think he had a save like in the first 30 seconds once they kicked off. I was just like, damn, like it's going to be one of those nights, huh? But no, I mean, he's without a doubt the best keeper on our team. Although, shout out to CJ Dos Santos as well. He played well for Inter 2 tonight. But the downside to that is he's been out like 5 months from that collision with Breck, and he really hasn't played with this back line. He hasn't played with Yedlin. He hasn't played with McVay. He hasn't played with Lowe. He's played a little bit, I think, maybe like one game with Noah. I mean, Noah only played a couple games last year, and, now Gibbs is week to week. So what issues were you seeing between, I guess, that new kind of subset of team chemistry that has to be developed?
Well, it wasn't a team. It was more of 5 different entities trying to do their job while guessing what the rest of them were doing. And if you want to break it down further, the backline may have had some sort of conversation, but Marsman was finding himself having to direct more and more from his spot, which, yes, is the goalkeeper's job. You want to make sure you get the defense set, but at the same time, it was almost like he was hand-holding. Mm-hmm. Last year with LGP and Fagal, if he would have been out and came back in, it almost would have been a bang bang. Okay, we're back. Let's start moving. Let's start going. It was a little worrisome. I didn't think it would be to the effect of what we ended up seeing at the end of it all, but it's going to happen. We have parts coming back, moving around, adjusting to what needs to be done, adjusting to new formations and this, that, the other thing. So we're bound to see it, but it's still very concerning.
Yeah, that's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but hopefully we see some improvement soon because we are going to need it. Now, this switch to the 4-3-3, I really, a couple things that I really, really like here is we're starting Robbie Taylor kind of in that left mid position, and I think he adds a nice little bit of creativity and has a very take the chance minded individual there. Then of course up top we've got Gonzalo acting as our 9 again, which kind of good bad. I'd honestly like to see potentially Campana get the start and bringing Gonzalo in, as we've discussed, more in the super sub role, or even like letting Robbie have a shot there. Or Lassiter's kind of played in that, we played 2 up top, but the good news here is that we started with 2 quick wingers. We started with Lassiter, and then Robbie Robinson got his first start of the season, which is promising because that speed combo of Yedlin to Lassiter is nice, and then Noah Allen. While there are some growing pains that are still going to be happening with Noah, we kind of got to weather those and get through them because I think he needs to continue to develop, because his what he adds on that left side, if he can develop something nice with Robbie, then we could, in theory, be pretty quick on the outside mainly. We've struggled really, I think, moving the ball effectively kind of up through the middle. We seem to always want to just punch out to the wings anyway, but at least we've got some real speed to see what we can do in some open space there. What did you like? What were your thoughts on the Robbie Taylor?
So I gotta say this right now. If I take Noah Allen out of the equation, Robbie Taylor is growing into my favorite on the team. Mm-hmm. I love his work ethic. He was not afraid to sprint back on defense, get all the way up the field on offense. He was looking for the pass. But I'm telling you, he's gonna unleash one with that howitzer for leg, and the stands are gonna go nuts once he finally puts one in. Looking more detailed into it, I like the fact that it kind of like what you alluded to. You have Noah, you have Robbie Robinson, and then you have Robbie Taylor in the middle. And Robbie Taylor's experience can stopgap Noah's inexperience, and he can help cover for Noah when he gets slightly caught out of position, which happened quite a bit. I shouldn't say quite a bit, happened a few times throughout the game where Robbie Taylor was helping Noah out, and then Noah was able to get back into position, and Robbie Taylor was able to reset. I don't know how many, or I don't know if you noticed it or how many times you may have noticed it, but I saw that it was effective, and it allowed that entire left side to click and allowed Robbie Robinson to stay up and get towards goal.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point right there, my man. And I don't think I really perceived how confusing this might get with two Robbies on that left-hand side, but yeah. Good job of distinguishing between the two. But yeah, no, that's a very fair point, right? Because those growing pains of a young player, it's expected. So, having someone with a little bit more experience could be very, very beneficial. But, at the same time, we just have a lot of new players who, don't have MLS experience, so they've got to take time to really ramp up. We do have some players, like a Lassiter or a Lowe. I mean, even Yedlin, although he hasn't played in quite some time in the league, but there's still going to be, those hurdles that have to get over here. But at least we are seeing signs of improvement in the team being comfortable playing for each other, trying to get open to relieve some pressure off your teammates and effectively moving the ball. The unfortunate part is it doesn't matter how effectively you move the ball, how much possession you keep. If you can't get the ball into the net, you're not going to win games. And this was a game that two flukes, two bad decisions really sunk us in the second half. The first half, drawless, and then I think as we were like walking back up into the seats, I was with Johnny Alpha, and he's like, "Damn, look at the scoreboard," and I was like, "Shite." And then I watched it, of course, again on TV as I always do, and I mean, it's painful. Walk us through these back-to-back goals that kind of, I don't want to say shut the door because there was a little bit of fight, but really buried us.
Yeah, so Dorsey crossed the ball in from the right-hand side. The problem was on the first goal, Noah Allen played beautiful defense, okay? It was great, but it popped off his shin and then cleared up over Lowe and was dunked home by Quinteros. You can't do much about that. I know people were roasting Noah, bad defense, get him off the field. I would like to challenge any one of those individuals to go out there and make a different play on that. I mean, could he have adjusted his body to get a little more in front of it? Sure. But you have to take into consideration his height. I think he made, 9 times out of 10, the defender's going to make that same step. And it just popped off his shin. Mm-hmm. All right. The second goal, I'm actually going to take a little bit of responsibility for this because I called out Drake Callender last episode for running out, not communicating, and then I clearly said that's something that Nick Marsman wouldn't do. The second goal, Marsman and Lowe failed to communicate with each other on a pop ball into the box. Marsman ended up taking down Quintero to avoid a shot going in, which honestly, I know he was caught out of position, but
he almost got away with it. He did. It wasn't like, there was a sneak in there, but it got exposed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But if he wouldn't have done that, I don't know who the ball popped to. Mm-hmm. I don't remember that off the top of my head. But he was so scared and so caught off guard that he absolutely missed it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely missed it. Penalty, because penalty against us, sure, so be it. And there was no question. I mean, Fafa's a good penalty taker, a good player for Houston, and he slotted it home. So it was one of those things where it was bang, bang. All of a sudden the game's out of control and we're looking to stop the bleeding. We need a tourniquet and we have a Mickey Mouse bandage. What do you do? Yeah. What were your thoughts?
Tough. 2 goals in 12 minutes. Darwin Quinteros was 49th minute. Fafa's was 57th minute. But, in the 66th minute, our I guess, new fond feeling growing buddy, Robbie Taylor, over here was able to get us a penalty, was taken down by the Houston goalkeeper. So we got a penalty. Of course, Gonzalo takes it. A little nervous there. Always a little nervous when we're taking penalties for some reason. But he slots it past. We get the goal, and at that point, it's like, hey, there might be a solid chance we can at least walk away with a draw here. You could see the effort was picking up. I mean, the shots were flowing really the whole game, but there was that belief that we might win. But everybody basically went all out, attack mode. I think Phil was just trying to bring on as many different attackers or, goal prone individuals as he could possibly do. And then, of course, at the very end of the game in stoppage time, again, in that, we got to get a goal and everyone's going to be pressing up. They were able just to get another easy third goal from Fafa. Received the ball, basically, wide open space. This guy, we need someone like that. We need someone that has just composure and can drill the ball in there. And struck a shot to the right of Marsman through. At that point, it doesn't really hurt, because so late in the game, and I think we had all accepted that we weren't going to be drawing or winning yet another game. But hey, buddy, hey, it can only get better. We keep saying that, but we'll see at what point we're finally smiling again.
I mean, I want to walk it back just, right before that third goal. I found myself saying, why the hell have we not put subs out? And, at this point, it was probably about the 81st, 82nd minute. And it was well before Fafa put the game away. But at what point do you notice that you are going to need to swap somebody out to make a difference? Granted, and the Inter Miami fan base needs to understand this. So listen up. There was no substitute for Noah Allen. So let's just get that on record right now. There was nobody there that could take his place. He is playing because everybody else is injured that would play the left back spot. So get that out of your heads. But looking at everybody else, Jay, would you say that they should have made the substitution earlier? Let's talk even like 70th minute. Or maybe try to solidify and maybe take the flow of the game by the scruff of the neck and throw all caution to the wind after that penalty. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, I think that if we're down, we need subs no later than the 70th minute. I mean, otherwise you're doing what Diego Alonso would do when it subs like the 80th minute, and at that point, what do you really expect a sub to do in 5 minutes? 5-10 minutes, something like that. Give them more time. Let them warm up to the game, and then we'll actually have a better shot of potentially, at least saving a point here. But tough, especially considering the possession, the shots. I mean, one day it'll get better. Possession though wise, a little over 54%. They were 47.7%. Though shots on goal, shots we had 22 shots. They had 11 shots. Both teams had 5 shots on goal, and do the quick math right there. 50% of their shots are on target, and a little less than 25% of ours are. We couldn't hit the broad side of a barn. But the passing, man, I mean, we had more passes. We had 438 passes. Houston only had 379 passes, and we had substantially more crosses. They only had 7, but it's astonishing. I guess what really sticks out to me here is the clearances. They had 35 clearances. We had 7. Like, at least their defense can kind of bend but don't break there. Fouls. For the first time, we don't have that many fouls. They had 11, we had 5, and yellow cards 4-3. Anything stick out to you in those?
I mean, the total amount of passes that led to absolute jack shit. I mean, you pass the ball around. You could have a midfield of Iniesta and Xavi, and if you're not putting the ball in the back of the net, it doesn't mean anything. I mean. It's like I said, Iniesta, Xavi, then we had Emil Heskey up front, just booting them in the rosette at the top of the north stand. It's embarrassing. I mean, I don't want to rehash what I already said, but the younger kids on our academy teams and in the MLS Next Pro would be putting away those chances. I'm not saying all of them, but they'd be putting away a good amount of those chances to maybe we, pip a 2-2 or win 3-2. I mean, or I'm sorry, 3-3 or win 4-3 or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's got to happen. We got to get better.
It's got to happen. I mean, and, because I've got these, being, I guess, credentialed media, you get, the club will send you really more like detailed stat sheets and some just going over like the passing accuracy. I mean, like Noah Allen, he was one of the highest on the team with 88.9% passing accuracy. Chris McVay led the team with 91.4, and DeAndre Yedlin had 90%. The only person that was, I guess, better would be Mo Adams, but he was a late sub, so you can't really take that for granted. But like Gonzalo Higuain, man, 66% passing accuracy. Like, you're supposed to be the leader of the team, and that's the best thing that you can give us. He only created 2 chances, whereas Lassiter and Mota both created 4. So I don't know what else to do with this guy. And then we're going to get into, kind of the announcement his father made about Gonzalo, but gotta be better.
The other thing too about Gonzalo is during pregame warmups, he's shooting on Drake Callender and he's pulling them wide.
Just missing.
And it wasn't even like 5 inches off the post, like wide. Mm-hmm. Not to jump ahead in the programming here, but do you think he's checked out already?
I think he is, dude. I think he came into training camp with a positive attitude, and then I think it was really just tested with Chicago, and you could just see, as far as him being like fully bought in, it's kind of regressed, I feel like, every game. And, is he retiring? Is he not? We'll talk about that a little later, but a lot of fans are saying, like, if just retire now, just walk away now. Why keep doing this? And that's, I think, why more and more people are calling for, Campana to start up top, or Robbie Robinson to start up top, or when the summer window comes, we gotta get that second DP at least filled until we can figure out what's going on with Rodolfo here. But yeah, man, pretty bummed. And just real quick, we'll run through the post games. I mean, kind of more of the same from Phil, just voicing his frustration. Said the team need to be more ruthless with their chances, which is 100% accurate. You need to at least be on target and try and convert some. And I mean, basically pretty simple stuff. Poor defending in the second half, yes. But it's like he's kind of is on loop, like just saying the same thing when asked. It may be, from game to game. It just seems like the answers are getting real repetitive. Of course, praising La Familia. We want to win for them. They deserve it. I'm upset because we're not winning for them. The team's upset because they're not winning for them. The fans, I mean, I would have to assume that the players would be, or at least Phil would be checking, maybe, kind of peeking his head out onto the field to check the weather maybe. And you could just hear the fans nonstop. They're the MVP. They're the backbone, the vertebrae, the nerves, the blood, the skin, the organs. They are everything of this club. And for the unwavering support over and over and over, it is just, all praise to them. But speaking of praise, he was very high on, Robbie's return or first, start of the season. And Marsman, played a pretty solid game, giving, we're still trying to work out that back line and the chemistry. Distribution was sensational, which, to be fair, that's kind of one of the best assets I think he has of any keeper in our stable, is he's good with his feet. And then, praise Robbie's, run and footwork, but both Robbie and Marsman were cramping up and having issues. So we get to the later minutes in the game. Phil, just take Robbie off. Why risk it? He's the most injury-prone person on our team. Just take him off. Marsman, I get it. Like, you don't have to run nearly as much. He can probably deal with his cramps, but protect our players. And if you're going to just call him out on the pitch to perform like he has yet again, you can instill this hustle mentality or this never give up or, fight through the pain. But if you push Robbie and we lose him for another 3 months, like we're out a serious offensive threat.
Well, and to that point, when he went down in a crumpled heap, the Discord blew up. They're like, "Oh God, here we go again." Mm-hmm. There goes his glass knee. There goes his his ego. Which honestly, with Robbie, and, it's well documented at this point. He can get over the physical injury, but the mental side of it is where he struggles the most. And, going into his post game, when he sat down, you could tell he was already guard up, defensive, almost uncomfortable. He just kind of looked uncomfortable. He opened up talking about the team needed to finish their chances. He was critical of himself, Gonzalo, everybody who was playing in front of goal. They said the players need to be more relaxed. It was kind of funny to me, though. He mentioned the team needs to regroup. What were they doing over the past 2 weeks?
Yep.
If you can't say we need to regroup. Yeah. I mean, you can't just turn around and say you need to regroup after you had 2 weeks off. And the only one that was really gone that really would have hurt was DeAndre. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Then there was really a bad question asked, and Robbie got really irritated throughout this. And they asked him if he felt the pressure to finish the shots in the 1v1 situations, which led to missed chances for the team. And there was like a long, awkward pause. And Robbie's like, well, I remember passing and setting other people up rather than panicking. So, and then he trailed off like, I don't know how you want me to answer that. Like, and at that point, the presser kind of went even further downhill. He followed that up immediately with subtly calling out the backs to not be able to find the players in the box with the proper pass, whether it be the proper ground ball, the through ball, or the cross into the box. Again, mentioned that the players need to finish their chances, and then begged La Familia again, like you had already mentioned with Phil, stick with the team. They can turn it around. They see it in practice, and they're coming together. But like my only clap back to that would be, how many times are we going to say that we can see this in practice? You guys say that you are a cohesive unit and you're clinical at practice. If you're not going to perform under the lights when the fans come out to support you, and they're spending their hard-earned dollar to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Like it's got to stop. And I'm not coming at Robbie, coming at the organization in general. You cannot expect. I mean, I know we put out the giant banner, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. It was like, what, family doesn't abandon family or something like that. I don't know what the exact translation was. Yeah. But eventually the North End is going to stop singing, and that's going to be a dark day for the club, because at that point it's going to be a much broader issue than what we currently have. Right now it's easily fixable if they get ahead of it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you can tell in the stadium, I don't know. It might be a little more difficult to see on TV, but no, it's not. Okay, fair enough. But that attendance is just trailing off, and that stadium gets more and more empty.
One thing I noticed was I could hear La Familia at the beginning of the game, banging away, drumming away, getting after it. And as the game went off, it tailed off. And then the only time that it bounced back was the chorus of boos that rained down at the end of the match.
I mean, they were still supportive. They never stopped beating their drums. I mean, I can tell from that. The passion might be a little hard for them to keep up with, just losing. But I want to say, they're always going to support them. I mean, I've been almost every single game, and it's we've had tough seasons, obviously, but they're very unwavering. But yeah, there's always a chance where, the buck's got to stop somewhere, and that's a strong message that could be sent to the club. And, just to wrap all this up with kind of a nice little thesis statement here, I guess, is power rankings last again. Worst in the league, 1 point out of a potential 15. We are officially the wooden spoon. I guess we're in the running for the wooden spoon, rather. I don't even know why they still write stuff under the power rankings for us. It should just say MER. It should just say LOL, or should just say you should have stopped reading at 27. I don't see this improving really at all. And then a little bit more bad news is that we've got the 2021 Supporter Shield champions coming next week. We're going to be going against the Rev. The only good news here is they've been struggling to start this season. But, they do have quite a bit of talent, so this could be another painful day. This could end up being I think the last time they were down here was 5-0, and then we somehow go up and beat them the last game of the season after they've of course already won the Shield. Like, you can't even make this stuff up. It is it's crazy. But anyway, the game will be played at Drive Pink, so we are getting 2 home games. That will be fun Saturday. Also, Quinn's soccer starting on the Saturday morning, so I'm gonna get to watch 2 teams of equal talent play, one in the AM and one in the PM. Yeah. Who scores more goals? Probably the 4 and 5 year olds. We'll see. But yeah, at least we get another game this weekend. But it's going to be a tough game for sure. What's your score predictions here, bud?
Man, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go looking at their run of form. They're hit or miss. I'm going to say we lose 2-1. They had a 1-0 win to FC Dallas, but then they gave up 3 goals to Real Salt Lake, and they gave up 3 goals to Charlotte. So I mean, I don't know. Let's go 2-1, call it a day, move on to the next bit of heartache. I'm honestly probably gonna go with a 3-0 here. I mean, Carlos Hill, Buxa, and Josie Altidore. They got Josie Altidore now. The Jet. They've got some talent, man. They could really, really punish us here. So I'm gonna go with 3-0. I'm gonna go 3-0, and I'm gonna this past weekend, I had a good feeling about the Houston game, and I kind of broke what I was saying that I was going to stop predicting Inter Miami to win until they prove me wrong. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Bo could rip us apart. There's a lot that could happen here, and I don't think our defense is quite where we need to be. I'm gonna go 3. I'll go 3-1. 3-1. Probably another penalty again, because that's what we do, man. Here we are. Oh dear. All right. Well, it's good to work through that. Let's get to some more positive news here. I guess first and foremost, if you're not paying attention to U.S. men's national team, our player, first ever one in not MLS, but Inter Miami history, is on the U.S. men's national team, and they qualified for the World Cup. What do you think about the draw in our group? Well, I'm torn. I am a lifelong England supporter. Mm-hmm. I have been since I was a kid. I don't want to hear any shit about it from anybody. I am thrilled the U.S. made it, and I'm thrilled that the U.S. and England both have a chance to play each other and advance. Yeah. I think my only sticking point is we need to see who wins that European playoff spot. We got Scotland's going to be tough. A lot of folks might laugh at me for saying that. Wales might be tough. The Ukraine's going to be 50-50 because, we're not getting political on the show, but they have a lot riding behind them emotionally right now, and they could come out swinging. So nothing's given, but I do like our chances to advance, and I will even go on and say that depending on the day, I think the U.S. could finish top of the group.
That's fair. I mean, I would be pretty thrilled if with the U.S. and England draw. If we can at least get some points. I mean, 3 would be amazing if we beat them. That'd be a pretty big moment for U.S. soccer. I mean, we did that with the 2010 World Cup, but England is a better team than I think that squad was. So we'll be okay with that. But yeah, no, I think we've got a really solid chance of getting through the groups, and then it'll be fun to see, the shakeout of the round of 16 and stuff of that nature. But there was a special day that was held at the stadium. Our boy Bex was there, did some stuff at halftime. Why don't you give an update on what went down? Because we were in the back, not to say anything bad about the children, but yeah, we needed another beer. So we went out to get a beer, so we didn't get to see the beautiful moment at halftime.
Yeah, so I mean, there's not a lot the club is doing right, but this was definitely one of the bright spots for the entire organization. The Inter Miami, in support of World Autism Awareness Day, welcomed in the, I believe it was called Autism Soccer. If I got that wrong, no offense, I apologize. But at halftime, they had a special clinic. Kids were able to get out in the field, and then Bex jumped out in his full suit in the middle of this halftime, did the damp field, all the conditions out there, and he got to kick the ball around with them and play goalkeeper while some of them took shots. It was a really special moment. We take a lot for granted, and to see the kids with autism get to have a special moment on a pitch with world talent and be able to get recognition for them and their game was awesome. I mean, I know you didn't get to see it, but it was a truly awesome moment. Just, the TV didn't show a lot of it, but from what I read and from what I saw, it well done, world class, a lot of class by the club there. It was a good moment.
Yeah, no, I think that's beautiful. I mean, Chloe even has a little puzzle piece tattoo. She's a big, I don't think supporter is the right word, but advocate for individuals with autism. Yep. And it's beautiful to see stuff like that. And I saw some of the pictures with Beckham out there, kind of squatting down in the goal with the kids. So, heartwarming. I mean, if you can't make us happy on the field, at least make us feel happy and, in our morale categories. But a couple of partnerships here that'll be, something I think overall good. I'm going to let you handle the Dawn one because I'm not really too sure exactly where that one's going to go. But the Brightline and Inter Miami CF finally have a partnership. Probably, a year or two later. I know the Brightline was shut down for some time during the pandemics, but it's great. And the club is also going to be having free shuttles to anyone that is attending the game. They will be picking up from, I believe, the West Palm location, the Fort Lauderdale location, more downtown Fort Lauderdale location, and then the Miami location, and bringing individuals up to the stadium. So that's a pretty good, safe way. Someone said, I think it's probably like $30 round trip. I would hope that Brightline, gives some sort of better deal than that. But I mean, you're still going to pay somewhere between probably 25 to 35 for just parking. And, if you want to go up there and have a good time, don't want to deal with traffic or all that hecticness, get on the Brightline. They're very clean. They serve, alcohol in there if you're old enough to indulge, but just very clean, smooth ride up there. And, if you are indulging in alcohol, you don't have to worry about driving because we don't condone illegal activities on this podcast.
No, absolutely not. And, I've never taken the Bright Rail. Yeah, whatever. It's all the same, because what I'm about to say is in Maryland, we have the light rail, and it's a similar concept. We drive only part of the way down to probably halfway to like Timonium, Maryland, and then we take the light rail into Baltimore, so we can get right to Inner Harbor, right to Camden Yards, right to the aquarium. And for what I know of that, if this is what it's going to be for Miami and Fort Lauderdale and the club, like, it's going to be an awesome partnership. It's going to help a lot of folks out. And as you said, don't drink and drive. That'll be an awesome thing for folks who want to consume alcohol, enjoy the game, and get a safe ride home.
Yes, sir. What's going on with the this Dawn free kicks deal?
Yeah, so, Dawn partnered with Inter Miami for free kicks for free meals. Inter Miami is, every time they get a free kick in their favor, they're going to award up to 50,000 meals to those in need. What I didn't know, I'm actually just reading this now. I did not know that we are actually in a deal with Procter & Gamble. So this falls under the initiative, like the broader umbrella. The overarching partnership enables brands such as Gillette, Old Spice, Crest, Oral-B, Dawn, Charmin, and Bounty to tap in and support the passionate fandom of World's Games. What that means for Inter Miami is that there's going to be a lot of support and programs for those in need in the local area, which is going to be awesome. Again, just like with the World Autism Soccer, this is the thing that they need to do to help keep themselves in the positive light with the fan base. This is awesome. It's not even like some clubs do goals scored. God knows we can't score a goal.
If it was converted free kicks, these kids would go hungry. Yeah, they would go so hungry.
Do you remember back in the day where they had like SNL had like the Celebrity Jeopardy skits? Yeah, and they were like, wow, this is the first time we've ever owed charities money. That would be what that was all about. But like they need to continue down this path. We need to like make sure the community is taken care of so the community takes care of Inter Miami. And it sounds selfish, but this is all they've got going for them right now.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been a lot of complaints from the supporters, from the fans, and the community as a whole, that the club has really not done a great job with their community outreach, community engagement, involvement, stuff of that. So pretty nice to see this coming about. And then, of course, we do have one little rumor, one story that broke earlier this week. Go ahead and break it down.
Apparently, Gonzalo Higuain is definitely calling it quits at the end of this year. Bye. That's all I got to say to it. Bye.
Good riddance. So question. Actually, never mind, because we're going to get to this in a little bit. So I will not worry about that. But yes, Gonzalo's father came out and said he plans to retire at the end of the season. Sure. I don't care. That's fine. You haven't been effective. Kind of failed experiment. And I mean, honestly, all of our DPs have been failed experiments. So, damn. I wasn't even like planning on saying that. I just realized that in my head. Yeah, we haven't been right really on one DP. Well, that sucks. Oh well, let's move on. Let's have some fun. Bring us home with fans questions.
No, only fans.
Only fans. Right. Yeah. You start writing in there because I'm trying to read the scripts.
Oh, my bad. All right. So OnlyFans. All right. Fan questions, hot takes. We ask you guys to submit your questions, hot takes. If you want to be a part of OnlyFans, go to our Twitter at InterMIA Podcast or hit us up on Instagram at InterMiami Podcast or join our Discord because that's always a fun place to be. All right. First question from Bernie. Jay, wouldn't a self-respecting club have fired by Phil by now, even if it's just for the optics?
I mean, I've got to stick with my guns here and say, I as much as Phil's stock is plummeting game by game, I still think we have to wait till to the midway point of the season. Would another club get rid of him? Sure. And I want to be surprised. Probably would say it was a smart move. Our circumstances, a little different. We're not even half a year through our 2-year sanction that we're having to work through with a depleted squad, a new squad, and it's not really that attractive of a job. I don't know who else you'd get in here that could really turn things around. I know there are some options that I've seen on the Facebook groups or we've discussed in the Discord, but I think that we're sort of aware of what's going on and what our, near future is over the next couple years. And hopefully they're just wanting Phil to weather the storm. And, this could all, if we go on a 6-game win streak, maybe people might think Phil's a genius. So it's like yes and no to that question, I guess.
I'm going to remind everybody that the interim manager does not always work out. All you need to do is look at United. As sometimes you get yourself a Ryan Giggs or a Michael Carrick who will guide you through 2 or 3 games, or you get a Ralph Ragnick in who you think is going to lead you to the promised land, and he just cannot control the locker room. It's the old adage where the students aren't going to listen to the substitute teacher. They know that they only have to deal with an interim manager for so long. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get the best out of them. I mean, no offense to Coach Christ, because I think he's a good guy, but he's going to bring the same style of play that led to a sub 500 record at Fort Lauderdale last year to the first team. So I don't know. I would say keep him to the end of the season and start building your list now of folks you want to go after. That would be my take.
Yeah, well, I would say something similar, right? maybe not fire him at the midway point if we're still atrocious, but maybe start your conversations with who you want to get in there, and then maybe replace him at the end of the season. But a lot of people, are saying pretty level headed and saying no, just let him stay throughout the durations of the sanctions, get us through this, and then we'll move on. But what else we got here, bud?
All right, from Miami Spartan, Jay, which drinks do you recommend to help you forget Inter Miami matches?
It seems to always be the Aguadina, which is like, I'm not sure exactly what country it really comes from. Could be Colombia, could be Venezuela. I could be way off on that from my understanding. It's like a Latin American thing. And the supporters group seem to be very fond of pouring multiple shots down my throat before and after games. So that's the one I'm going to go with. The beer can get you two, but the supporters in their Aguadina, and it's like every different supporters group has their own designated like Aguadina shot pour in the mouth. Like no one's safe. Like I'm not going to get anybody in trouble here, but like even the club's personnel are sometimes cranking down with us. So that'd be mine. And then, try and just maintain it with the beer.
All right, so I'm going to go with two different scenarios here. If it's a close loss, I'm going to go with a double Moscow Mule because I love a good Moscow. All right, that's just me.
That sounds good right now.
Absolutely. I'll drink them all day long. If it's a bad one, we are going with the OG Four Loko because that's the only way to wipe your memory. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Johnny and I got back here and we had some nice bourbon, which was a good time. But
you have some good bourbon, though. I'll give you that credit. You got some good bourbon. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward. Jay, this is from I guess his name is Nuka-Cola Vendor. He's a new guy on our Discord. Jay, what current EPL club could you compare Inter Miami to?
I think we talked about this, and my answer was not acceptable because they're no longer an EPL club. I said Sunderland, because it's just nonstop pain, and I feel bad for Sunderland. But if it's going to be an EPL team, are you going to go with the Canaries? Or do you have another one, or are you going with the Canaries?
I have two, so if you want to go with the Canaries, I'll use my second answer.
So I do as well, and I'm actually going to be very curious if we have the same ones here. I really am. But
okay.
Just staying true to form, we're the worst team in the league. It's got to be Norwich.
Yeah, I would say Norwich. Just looking at their goals for to goals against, it was 18-4 to 63 against.
Yeah, yep. Now, is your second one Everton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you why. So before we recorded this, I saw an article, and it was Fat Frank just looking dejected on the sidelines, and it says Frank out of control, Everton relegation bound, and he had the same look that Phil had, like, what am I doing?
I don't like that one. I mean, I like it, but like Super Frank's a damn treasure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate him. It's not like it's Steven Gerrard. Like, Fat Frank wasn't just trash, you know what I mean? So, speaking of more, we're going to go with B Griff 89. Again, sorry if I messed your name up, newcomers, I apologize. Do you think, Jay, it is even worthwhile for the club to bring in players during the summer? Should we even gamble on a new DP if a potential coaching change is imminent?
So that's, I think, what we stopped on that discussion about Gonzalo. Yeah, that's a really interesting thought. Like, do you just wait and then we're expected at the end of the season to have 3 DP players? Yeah, it's tough, man. I guess it just depends on where we are in that summer transfer window. The club has got to feel this burning desire to give some results to the supporters, right, to the fans. So if we somehow start to turn it around and win some games, or at least start securing more points, I could definitely see it be more beneficial, assuming we're getting a different coach, because it would be a pretty hectic, off season to try and get 3 DPs in the door. Maybe you get one and then worry about the other 2 later. But it would be nice, with the new coach, just let him have some input in the DPs he wants. So, I guess it's just like anything. We're just kind of trying to wait and see how bad this gets. Does it get any better? We sure hope so. What do you think?
I agree with you, because plenty of times, in our own club, we've seen that, oh, you're not the player I picked. I don't want you here. Mm-hmm. And if we continue to go down this path, it's going to, we're never going to get set. And I don't, not ringing the alarms because we're this brand new, but if we continue to reset the foundation and fumble the ball and have failure to launch, do we start running similarities to like Chivas, where we start thinking maybe this isn't going to work? Mm-hmm. We got to avoid that at all cost. So I'm going to branch off of B. Griff's question for you. All right.
Okay.
If the season continues to play as poorly as it does, and I could be off base here because I'm not familiar with the terms of it, do you think they look at Rodolfo and be like, hey, can you help us?
Oh, at that point, I think it's going to have to be, how he finishes the season with Monterrey. Do Monterrey want to acquire him because it's a loan with a buy option? And then would he be willing to come back, knowing that it's the struggles of this club? I guarantee you Pizarro is staying up on Inter Miami and the scores just to see, where we are. So I know Pizarro got a lot of hate. I was never really that guy. I did not mind Pizarro. I think he shined really great when he had to be our playmaker. But then, we love to play people out of positions. I don't think we gave him as much time as I would like to see on that left wing, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. I really wouldn't. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I wouldn't mind with that at all.
I was one of the Pizarro haters. It was very well documented. But if he wanted to come back, I don't think there's a reason why you don't let him come back and at least play it out. We don't have anything to lose.
I think we have more playmakers that he could benefit off of now.
Yep.
There are times where we're not really sure. Is it going to be, Mo Adams? Is it going to be Robbie Taylor? Gregory's been a little out of form. He would have been even though not, on, as a left winger as he typically is, but he could definitely fill in and probably have a better year if he was here this year than any year he'd been here, just because of the we did bring in a lot of attackers and a lot of people that are trying to help create. We're not fully where we need to be, but it would be interesting to see. Maybe maybe that becomes one of the great unknowns.
Yeah, the 30 for 30s. What if Rodolfo Pizarro came back to Inter Miami? I don't know.
Yeah.
So the final question is more on a personal note. This is from your boy, Will, from across the pond over in England. Jay, what's the secret to your good look?
Oh, man. The key is to have your hair so styled it doesn't even look styled.
Okay, so what if you don't have hair to have styled? Because in my situation, stress has caused mine almost fall out by 32.
Well, I am slowly growing a beard back, and you've always been rocking the beard category. Be confident in whatever you do. Don't ever let, Chloe tells me, you're really going to wear that or whatever. Just be confident. Be you. Dress how you want to be. I promise you, I'm not going to say all the time, but a lot of times the women or men, however you swing, whatever you're into, vice versa, will find you just being natural and being you and doing what you want to do more attractive than, trying to be something else. So be yourselves. Hair is always a good thing, though. If you got some hair, go to, maybe a barber's not cutting it for you. Go find a stylist. Let a stylist hook you up. Or if maybe can't grow hair, go full Rick Ross season. Go full Than Harrington. Go full Gonzalo. Let that beard grow. Mix it up a little bit.
So, Will, I'm going to tell you the secrets to my good looks now. All right. It's called having 2 kids, sleeping 5 hours, being hopped up on Red Bull, and just not giving a shit.
And Death Wish.
It is blue jeans and hoodie season all year long. I don't care. I'm walking into business meetings. I got my hoodie on. I got my jeans on. I'm supposed to be representing the company. I'm like, whatever. So
be yourself.
You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now I know that's not generally a question that we would answer on here, but I figured we needed some fun to end the episode on because, God, we can't keep doing the pain. We just can't keep doing it.
Yeah.
So, but no, everybody, like I said, if you have questions, you want to, let off some steam, you got some hot takes, you want to, ask us the secret of life, reach out to us again, Twitter at InterMIA Podcast, Instagram at Inter Miami Podcast. As we always say, thank you to all of the La Familia. We appreciate you for sticking around. And as always, vamos Miami.
Vamos Miami.